Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so Venerable Siales and dear Dhamma friends, so we'll resume our discussion on the Kusalattika Paṭṭhāna. And in the last week, we discussed on the connaissance, the conditions from the connaissance medium group. We started discussing, and we started it from the reciprocal condition, the mutuality condition. So that is the first one, the first condition which we are supposed to learn from the connaissance medium group. And from there, we will go to the second paccaya, the second condition, which is the resultant condition. So the resultant condition from the paccayuddesa, right? From the paccayuddesa and the paccayaniddesa. So it comes as vipaka paccayoti, vipako chattaro kanda arupino anyamannang vipaka paccayena paccayo. Right? So which means vipaka paccayo, the four vipaka mental aggregates, anyamannang, for each other, is conditioned as vipaka paccayena paccayo is a condition as vipaka condition. So the four aggregates from the vipaka chittas, they are supporting each other. That's what which comes in the paccayaniddesa. Okay. Right. So first we go through the vibhanga of the classification of the resultant condition, right? So the resultant condition, in the resultant conditions, only one enumeration is applicable, which is abhyakato abhyakatassa, the indeterminate supporting the indeterminate. And it consists of two segments, two components. The first one is the pavatti, the resultant during the life continuity. And the second one is the resultant at the moment of the conception. But here we have to understand that in the Kusalattika Pañhāvara, the investigation chapter, it's not only the mental aggregates which are explained, the relationship between the mental aggregates and the mind-born materiality, and also the karma-born materiality at the moment of conception are included. So we'll go through them. So it's only one enumeration here. Abhyakato dhammo abhyakatassa dhammassa vipaka paccayena paccayo. The indeterminate phenomena support other indeterminate phenomena through the force of resultant condition. And then we have the explanation for the first one. This part A is applicable for the resultant during the life continuity. So vipaka abhyakato eko khando tinnannang khandanang citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ vipaka paccayena paccayo tayo khanda ekas. So it means one resultant aggregate indeterminate, one resultant indeterminate aggregate supports three aggregates, and also mind produced matter through the force of resultant conditioning, right? So it supports with three aggregates, and also it supports the mind produced matter also, right, through this force of resultant conditioning. And then we have the other two relationships. Tayo khanda ekasya khandasa citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ vipaka paccayena paccayo. The three aggregates support a single aggregate and also mind produced matter through the force of resultant conditioning. And then we have the other one. Dve khanda dvinnang khandhanang citta samutthānānaṁ ca rūpānaṁ vipaka paccayena paccayo. Two aggregates support two aggregates and also mind produced matter through the force of resultant conditioning. So we have these three relationships which are very obvious because we have discussed similar types of conditions previously. But now we have another question here, right? So now, understanding the conditioning force, the resultant conditioning force can be quite tricky, right? I'll tell you the reason, because we know this very well, right? The the relationship between the kamma, right? Kamma and the vipaka. We know this very well, right? So we know this very well because we know the kamma is giving results. So this is what we know it. But the kamma giving results to the resultant condition, resultant aggregates, is not the vipaka paccaya. It's not the vipaka conditioning force. So we know this the paccayas which we are discussing at this moment, they belong to the connaissance group, right? Sahajāta. Right? They belong to the connaissance group, right? That is the Sahajāta. So what I mean here is that the conditioning states and the conditioned states both should arise together, right? At the same time. So that's what the connaissance conditioning means. So this relationship between kamma and vipaka, right? This relationship, so it's not sahajata, it's not happening in a connaissance way, right? So it's called, in Pali, call it asynchronous. Asynchronous means that the result, the asynchronous kamma condition. Pali, we call it nana kanika kamma paccaya, which means that the kamma, the kamma, the chetana, the whatever the conditioning state, it arises prior to the resultant states, right? So therefore, this is not the vipaka conditioning, the resultant condition, right? So this is the kamma conditioning. So yes. So what happens in the vipaka conditioning is that the relationship is so here, right? What happens is that the resultant aggregates, they are supporting each other, right? So they are supporting each other. Right? They're supporting each other, plus they're supporting the materiality which are related to them, right? So that's what is happening in the resultant resultant condition. So so what is really happening here is that the kamma, when they are yielding the results, in the resultant aggregates, within and among the resultant aggregates, there is a maturity, right? That's called vipaka. Maturity means that yielding of the results, right? So that when it is taking place, the vipaka, there is always a tranquility, right? There is a tranquility in the vipaka chittas, right? Whatever the type of vipaka chittas, there's a tranquility. What I mean as tranquility is that it's not the tranquility which comes in the concentration. This is not what I intend here. The word tranquility means that when you compare the wholesome and unwholesome consciousness, there is always an effort, right? There is always an effort to do a particular thing, to do something. Let it be done through the mind door, let it be done through the body door, let it be done through the verbal door. There is always an effort to do this. But when it comes to the resultant consciousness, the resultant aggregates, there's a tranquility, because because they are calm in their nature, right? And there is no effort to do certain kind of thing, right? So when this maturity is taking place, that's what you need to really understand as the vipaka paccaya. So therefore, it's a must that you understand that this resultant condition, it takes place within one mind moment. Okay, so do we have any questions here regarding especially regarding this the conditioning force of the resultant? Yes. So this tranquility and all, the tranquility and the peaceful, the calm nature is explained in relation to the volition in that particular conscious. We know the volition, it's a universal mental factor, which means that it's applicable in all the consciousness. So when this in all the vipaka chittas, the volition, it's not taking an effort, it's not putting an effort like in the wholesome and in the unwholesome consciousness. That's the nature of the resultant consciousness. So that is what we need to understand as tranquility, right? Not that not that some of the consciousness are unwholesome resultant consciousness. So then there will be like the dukkha sahagata kaya viññāna. In that case, it's unpleasant feeling that is there. But what is mean as the tranquility is regarding to the volition, because it's not putting an effort to do certain things, right? So that's what we need to understand. So yes, so depending on the person, that sometimes this dukkha sahagata kaya viññāna can be understood through a unwholesome consciousness. Most probably it's through the consciousness associated with the hatred, and also and if somebody is seeing through its mindfulness, then it's a wholesome consciousness. So what I really specifically mention as the tranquility is the inside the dukkha sahagata kaya viññāna only, this cetana. Yes. So that the mind which is taking the dukkha sahagata feeling it can be either an unwholesome consciousness or a wholesome consciousness. Yes, you have to do it through wisdom, right? Through to be mindfulness on what it is. Like, so usually when it is when there is dukkha vedana, we have a disliking towards that. So when this disliking is there, and so I think like the first thing that you need to really understand is that the dukkha vedana, it can occur in a very subtle way or in a very gross way. So you need to understand really on which way this arise, right? So let it be a subtle way or let it be in a gross way, that the mind is always having some kind of a disliking and kind of toughness, a rough feeling towards the object. So like in the first place, you have to understand what's happening. So after that, then you have to work on it, right? To not to have unwholesome feeling on that object, right? So then after that, then there should be various methods which can be applied, right? So one is practicing of the samadhi. So samadhi can help to reduce the pain, and sometimes you have to reflect on the three characteristics, that anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So like that can work out on it. All right. So I think Syala Indamani, she raised the hand, right? So we have a question. Do we have a question?
Yeah, Vandami Bante, may I ask a question? Is just now, Bante, you mentioned that this tranquil mind of this vipaka paccaya. So can we understand like this, because of the absence of the volition, So so that's why we can understand this. That's why it's a tranquil mind, because of the absence of the volition. Since that means the mind stream there is a more an active mind stream. So we can understand is considered as a tranquil mind because without the volition, javana.
Yes, correct. What is the word that you used? I could not really hear it properly. Did you use the word absence?
Yeah, the absence of this javana.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot do, I mean, the way that you have understood this is correct, right? We can say the absence of effort, right? Absence of effort as like in the wholesome and unwholesome consciousness. But we have to understand that this volition, it's never absent. If there is a mind moment, the volition is there, right? So in this volition, in the resultant consciousness, there is less effort, right? Lack of effort, right? Less, or we can say lack of effort.
So, but is it so because of lack of effort is can consider is a an active mind stream, is it?
Yeah,
Because
that word. Yeah, that word is correct. We can say in that way.
an active mind stream because it's lack of effort. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bante. Sadhu.
Not volition. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we can move, right? No more questions, seems. Okay. So this is the first part, which is the resultant during the life continuity. And the next one is the resultant at the moment of conception. Right? Okay, so we'll go through it. Right? It's very obvious, very easy to understand. Patisandikkhane vipakabhyakato eko khandu tinnannang khandānang katattā rūpānang vipāka paccayena paccayo tayo khanda ekassa khandassa katattā rūpānang vipāka paccayena paccayo. Oh, I forgot to translate, right? So first one is at the moment of conception, what resultant indeterminate aggregate supports three aggregates and also comma produce matter through the force of resultant conditioning. Tayo khanda ekassa khandassa katattā rūpānang vipāka paccayena paccayo. Three aggregates support a single aggregate and also comma produce matter through the force of resultant conditioning. Dve khanda dvinnang khandānang katattā rūpānang vipāka paccayena paccayo. Two aggregates support two aggregates and also comma produce matter through the force of resultant conditioning. Khanda Vatussa Vipaka Paccayena Paccayo, the four mental aggregates support the heart base through the force of resultant conditioning. Right, so that's how it happens. So it's very in essence we can put it in at the moment of conception, the resultants, the mental aggregates, they support each other, and also the comma produce matter, and also the four mental aggregates, they support the heart base through the resultant conditioning. Okay, so here we have when we move into the connaissance large and medium Pali table, right? So in the Vipaka Paccaya we only have the Abhyakato, Abhyakatassa, right? So in the Abhyakato, Abhyakatassa, right here, this one, and we have the during lifetime, right? But we have to remove the Kiriya Abhyakato part, right? So the Kiriya Abhyakato part is not there. Only the Vipaka Abhyakato is there. And in the rebirth, we have this one, right? Patisandikkane Vipaka Abhyakato, and here we have the Khanda Vatusa, right? But Vatu Khandana is not there, right? Khanda Vatusa is there, but Vatu Khandana is not there. And standalone material is anyway, it's not applicable, right? So we can work the Pali from this table, right? So if we can remember this Pali table, things become quite easy. Okay, so when we go through the single enumeration, all resultant for mental aggregates at the moment of conception and during life continuity. So both types are included, right? The moment of conception and the life continuity, which serves as conditioning force to their respective mental aggregates reciprocally, right? And also reciprocally and mind produce matter. And at the moment of conception, comma produce matter. So this the reciprocal only thing is applicable wherever when there is no relationship with the mind produce matter or the comma produce matter, right? At the moment of conception. So so this is applicable. They are respective mental aggregates reciprocally in the Chatuvokara, the fourfold existence, and also in some of the consciousness, like the two fivefold consciousness, it does not give a rise to the mind produced matter. So in those two types of situation, the respective mental aggregates reciprocally is applicable, and the reciprocally and the mind produced matter and at the moment of conception is applicable in general in the fivefold existence, wherever the resultant aggregates are having the relationship between these two types of materiality. The second type is only the mental aggregates at the moment of conception in the fivefold existence, right? That serve as the conditioning forces to the heart base. So that is only applicable in the fivefold existence. And there is only one enumeration, which is abhyakato abhyakatassa, the indeterminate supporting the indeterminate, right? So in the Pali, it's only one enumeration. So the Pali it comes as in the single enumeration section, vipake-ekang, meaning one classification, one enumeration in vipaka condition. Okay, so now we move into the analytical states, the result and condition. So, right. So we have these two sections at the period of continuity and at the moment of conception. So we have here the reciprocally to the mental aggregates and to the mind produced matter. So 36 types of resultant consciousness and 38 chetasikas, and the mental aggregates which are both constituents and an assemblage. And we have the condition states, the 36 vipaka chittas, the 38 mental factors, with the mental aggregates that are constituents and also the mind produced matter.
Yeah.
And here we have at the moment of conception, reciprocally to the mental aggregates and to the at the moment of conception, comma produced matter, the 19 rebirth linking consciousness, the 35 mental factors, the mental aggregates that are both constituent and assemblage. So, okay. And then we have the 19 rebirth linking consciousness, the 35 mental factors, the mental aggregates that are constituent at the moment of conception, comma produced matter. So why there are only 35 mental factors here? The virati mental factors are not applicable here, right? At the moment of conception, but they were applicable at the period of life continuity, right? Because in the fruit consciousness, these three types of virati, the abstinences, they are present. So, okay, how does the reciprocally is applicable here? Can somebody answer? At the period of life continuity, can someone answer here? Yes, correct. When there is in the fourfold existence, and also when at the moments where the fivefold, what do you call the twofold, the Dvipansa Vijnana arise, right? Okay, so do we have any questions up until now? No, right? Okay. So in that case, we move into the the third type of consciousness, which comes in the Sahajāta small group, the Sahajāta medium group. So that is the association condition, which is the Sampayutta Paccaya, right? So the Sampayutta Paccaya, it's so Sampayutta Paccaya, we have to please wait now the fire. Right. Can you see the screen, right? Right. So the Pali comes as Sampayutta Paccayuti Chattaro Kanda Arupino Anyamanyang Sampayutta Paccayana Paccayo. So Chattaro Kanda Arupino means the four mental aggregates. Anyamanya means for each other aggregate, for each other. Sampayutta Paccayana Paccayo is conditioned as the association condition. So that's what comes in the Paccaya-niddesa. Okay, so there is a typo here. This should be Sampayutta Paccaya Vibhanga. Right. So in the case of the Sampayutta Paccaya, there are only three answers, three enumerations. So that are the kusalo kusalasa, akusalo akusalasa, and abhyakato abhyakatasa. Because this association, it only occurs among the mental aggregates, right? So it does not show any relationship. It does not have any relationship with the rupa, the materiality. So it's only among the mental aggregates. So wherever the wholesome, the unwholesome, and the indeterminate mental aggregates are arising, then this relationship is there. Right. So instead of going through the Pali from the beginning to the end, what I'm going to do is to again refer you to this Pali table. Right, from the Pali table we can very easily understand, right? So yeah, okay, so this relationship, it comes in here. Kusalo kusalasa is there, right? The wholesome aggregates supporting the wholesome aggregates. So when they are supporting each other, we have this relationship, 1 supporting 3, and 3 supporting 1, and 2 supporting, the 2 aggregates supporting the 2 aggregates. So this relationship is there. And so we have the first one, right? And then we have the second one, the unwholesome supporting the unwholesome, which is the from this table, that is this fourth enumeration. So the unwholesome supporting the unwholesome. And the third one is abhyakato abhyakatassa. But in abhyakato abhyakatassa, we have to remove certain elements, right? So we have to remove the standalone materiality. It does not come at all. And this relationship is not there. Khanda avatusa is not there. And so during life and the rebirth, only the mental aggregate part should be taken, right? So this part should be taken. and the relationship here is not considered, right? The relationship between the mind-born materiality and the karma-born materiality should be eliminated, right? So that's how we get the three enumerations, the Pali for the three enumerations in the for the association condition. Right. So now we see the relationship between the in the third one, right? In the Kusalabhyakatasa, the wholesome supporting the wholesome and the indeterminate. We can see this relationship between the three aggregates, right? The four aggregates supporting each other and the mind-born materiality, right? So even though this part is there, the aggregates supporting each other is there, because the mind-born materiality is included, so that this Kosalo Abhyakatasa is not considered, right, in association, because some part, some component in this relationship, Abhyakata, is there, which is materiality. Okay, so what is the conditioning force that we need to understand, right? So in the in this association condition, we need to understand the we need to understand the conditioning force. So what happens is that we know that these four aggregates, they are associating with each other, right? So associating means what? It means that they get mixed up with each other. They arise together and they cease together, and they take one object, and if they arise in the fivefold existence, then they will take one base, right? So those are the four characteristics of the cetasikas, right? The mental factors. So so when these aggregates are associating with each other, so they get mixed up. It get mixed up to a certain level that it's very difficult to split them, right? Very, very difficult to understand, to understand them as separate components, right? So they get mixed up, they get entangled with each other to this level, right? So the example which comes in our textbooks it's about in our monasteries, we prepare something called Pali we call Satu Madura. In Sinhalese we call that, and in Burmese also they call it Satu Madhu. So what goes into this food is that it's a 7-day food. I'm sorry, it's a 7-day medicine. So four types of things are added to this thing, right? So they add the ghee, the butter, the jaggery, and the honey, right? They put all together and mix it, and they cook it. So once you cook it, that all the components that get mixed very much. So it's very difficult to. So once you are tasting this thing, when you are tasting this food, you cannot understand which is honey, which is what is the jaggery, what is the ghee, what is the butter. So it cannot split it. So like that, when the association condition is there, the four aggregates, they get mixed up, right, with each other. So that's how you should understand the conditioning force of association. Okay, so I will not go through the Pali and the translation, so please go through it. So, right, because we use the Pali table, it's very easy. Right, so in the single enumeration section, we have in the Pali, it is stated as sampayutte tini, which means in the association condition, there are 3 answers. Okay, now we move into the analytical states. Now the analytical states are very straightforward. It's like only you need to know about the mental aggregates which fall into each of these types, really, right? From the wholesome, it's the 21 mental 21 wholesome consciousness and the 38 mental factors. And because only the mental aggregates are supporting each other, they comes in components, right? For both the condition and the condition states, they have to be components. So it's the same case with the unwholesome. You have the 12 unwholesome chittas, the 27 mental factors in both sides, and they comes in components, right? So sometimes it's not, yeah. So constituents and components, same meaning. Okay, so and then we have for the abhyakato abhyakatassa, so we have to split the mental aggregates here. So we have the resultant and the functional mental aggregates, both are applicable here, and associated mental factors that are constituents, right, for the condition and the conditions, same case. And at the moment of conception, there are 19 rebirth linking consciousness and 35 mental factors, right, that are constituents. Okay. Yes, do we have any questions?
请问大家有什么问题吗？
Okay, so now we move into the Vipayutta Paccaya, the connaissance dissociation. It's called Pali Sahajāta Vipayutta. So regarding the Vipayutta Paccaya, there are few types, right? There are few types for the Vipayutta Paccaya. So it comes in the Pali. There are many types really, right? What comes in the Paccaya-niddesa Pali is Vipayutta Paccayoti, Rupino Dhamma, Arupinang Dhammanang, Vipayutta Paccaya, which means the material phenomena, they support the mental phenomena from the disassociation condition. And then we have the other phrase, Arupino Dhamma, Rupinang Dhammanang, Vipayutta Paccayana Paccayo. Arupino Dhamma means the mental phenomena, Rupinang Dhammanang, for the material phenomena, Vipayutta Paccayana Paccayo is a condition as dissociation condition. Right. So there are many types of Vipayutta Paccaya, right? So the one is Sahajāta Vipayutta, which is what we are going to discuss, the connaissance dissociation. The second type is the Purezāta Vipayutta, prenaissance dissociation.
那第二种不相因缘呢，就是前生不相因缘。
Right. So the third type is it's not included here. The Paccayāta is called post-nascence, right? Paccayāta Vipayutta. So these are the main types, but there are few subtypes which goes into certain groups of conditions, certain groups. We are not going to go to them in detail because we are just discussing the connaissance dissociation. So Vipayutta Paccaya is there between Nama and Rupa, and then Rupa and Nama, like this, right? So these two types are there, the mentality supporting the materiality supporting the mentality. So the Vipayutta Paccaya is not applicable for the It's not applicable with the, it's applicable with these two, of course, but it's not applicable with the rupa and rupa, materiality and materiality. The viparita paccaya is not there. So when it comes to viparita paccaya, like most of the Dhamma practitioners, the students, they think that the mentality and the materiality is disassociated, right? So that's what how normally the students understand the viparita paccaya. But we need to clarify. But we need further clarification to really understand the viparita paccaya. So we, in summary, we told that there are three types, right? Sahajāta, Vipayutta, and the second type is Purejāta, Vipayutta, and the third type is Paccayajata, Vipayutta, right? So there are three types. Basically, there are three types. So in whatever the type, right? Whatever the type, we have these two types of relationship, right? Either it should be nama and rupa or nama, or maybe both. In certain types, there are both relationships are there. So, but when we know this, even though these two types are there for this relationship, the nama and the rupa, right? So the nama and the rupa, they need to arise, they need to be nearby, right? Adjacent with each other, right? So I say this part is nama and this part is rupa, right? So they should be nearby, near each other. That's the most important thing. They should be near each other, right? Not far away. Say, for example, now at this moment in my body, that when I'm talking, when I'm maintaining my life, there are mind-born materiality arising, right? So the mind-born materiality are arising. So this mind-born materiality, they arise within me, they arise adjacent, they arise nearby, right? Assume these two things as two lands nearby, your house and the neighbor's house, right? So like that, these two types, the nama and the rupa, they should be nearby, right? So now my mental aggregates, and wherever you are, your materiality, they do not have the vipayutta paccaya, right? The vipayutta paccaya is there wherever this nama and rupa, they are in adjacent, right? When they are showing some relationship like that. Consciousness arise which arise in the heart base is supported by the certain types of materiality, the heart base rupa, which arise prior to the arising of the mental aggregates, right? But they support each other. They arise because the mental aggregates are arise because the mental aggregates arise on the heart base. They arise on the heart base, then they have the dissociation condition there, right? So the rupa arise prior to nama, right? This is what happens here, the second type. So the third one, which is the Paccayajata paccaya, which means the rupa arise prior to the nama, right? So whatever the materiality which have already arisen are supported by the mental aggregates which arise later on, right? So the rupa arise earlier, and I'm sorry, here yes, this is also correct. Yeah, Rupa arrives prior to Nama, and here Rupa arrives prior to Nama. Yeah, yes, it's correct. So in the Paccaya-niddesa, what happened is that the Rupa, which are already arisen, is supported by the Nama later on, right? So here in the Purejata, what happens is that the Nama, they are supported by the Rupa, which the Rupa is arisen earlier. Why do we need? I don't know, really. It's there, right? It's there. This conditioning force is there. So that's why the Buddha, he explained this Viparita Paccaya. So in the Burmese books, no, I think in the commentaries or sub-commentaries, I have seen it like, it says, in Pali, it's called Yatta Asanka, Yassa Asanka. Let me check it. Okay, please translate. Yeah. So one thing, one advantage of knowing this paccaya is that So one advantage is that when these when certain dhammas they arise together, and not together, when they arise nearby in the proximity in adjacent locations, when when they are close to each other, sometimes that we need to separate these two types of dhammas, right? Say the mind-born materiality which arise within me, right? So if we can need to split it, that is the advantage. Right? Because yeah, I'm sorry, let me add one sentence. So when they arise in very close proximity, when the Vipayutta Paccaya, we can understand the Vipayutta Paccaya, then we know that they do not become Sampayutta like that. So exactly. Yeah, that is the example given by the ancient teachers. They give them this to a. I have seen it somewhere. It's given to the simile of a pickle. You know, in the pickle you have many types of fruits, and then you put it in a can or some kind of, you add certain ingredients to preserve it. But still the fruits are there inside in this pickle jar or the pickle can, but still they do not mix with each other like that. Okay, are we done? Yes. Okay, so rest I will explain next week. And now we'll share the merits. Right? We'll share the merits which we accumulated in our class by learning, by teaching, translating, and reflecting all these supreme words of the Buddha. And with these merits, we share these merits with the deities, the deceased relatives, and make a wish that we attain Nibbana from this.
接下去呢，关于不生缘的其他的内容呢，尊者会在下个星期呢，课程里面继续为我们讲解。那现在呢，我们在今天呢，在上课期间呢，通过呢学习，通过教导，通过呢翻译，通过呢去思维这佛陀所教导的非常深奥的这个法呢。这个功德呢，这殊胜的功德呢，我们与一切的这些天人分享，与一切呢过往的亲人分享，也愿这个呢成为我们证悟涅槃的助缘。
Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mang parang. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamu satan samagamu hotu yavanibbana pattiya yang patntang kusalang tassa anubhavena panino sabbe saddhamma rajassa nyatva dhammang sukhavahang papunantu visuddhaya sukaya patipattiya asoka manupayasang nibbana sukhamuttamang cirang tittatu saddhammo dhamme hontu sagarava sabbepi satta kalena samma devo pavassatu yatharakkinsu purana surajano tatevimang raja rakkatu dhammena attanova pajang pajang imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi addha imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha parimuccissami idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu idamme punyang nibbanassa paccayo hotu mama punya bhagang sabba sattanang bhajemi te sabbe me samang punya bhagang labhantu buddha sasanang cirang tittatu buddha sasanang cirang tittatu buddha sasanang cirang tittatu sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.